This is a tape that has photographs and postcards of Cherry Grove. There are pictures of the 1938 hurricane and just general pictures around the town over the years. Most photographs start back in the 20s, and many of them have been supplied, a good number of them have been supplied by Michael and Barbara Pinto and Shirley and Bob Manel. Some will duplicate because the tape has been made in two different times in two different sections, and so some of the photographs do come up again, but not very many. This is looking at the Grove in the 60s. You can see the new hotel up there and the S Palace and the store. Top of the bay was not built as yet, nor the Island Queen before it, and so that building is still one story high. But it's generally the way the Grove looked in the 1960s. This is looking at the old hotel, Duffy's Hotel, in the 1920s. And that's the picture taken from out in the bay, probably in front of the fire department. This photograph is August 1925, and those trees and bushes that you see there will disappear in all subsequent photographs. This is Duffy's Hotel from the bay end of Holly Walk, 1934. Also 1934, looking towards the hotel from the end of the dock. That building, house you see over on the right, is what is now Holly House. And there's a small house up close to the hotel behind that mast of the boat, and that is the Carousel, which was once called the Silver Slipper. This is looking at the back of the old hotel from the ocean. And there is someone about to cross what is probably now the volleyball court, and that building on the right is what either became or what was there before the monster. The dock in the 1930s. This is a member of Ted Pinto's family, Michael Pinto's family. Had a little runabout at the dock, also in the probably in the 1940s with this one. One of the early ferry boats, one called the Atlantic. It looks suspiciously like the old freight boat that we used to have here before it was retired because of its age. The hull does anyway. The big old blue one. This is Cherry Grove, 1924. This is looking east. Those houses are all on Surf Walk. There were practically no houses west of Surf Walk at that time. This is probably near East Walk because the Pinto family built a house on the East Walk in the 20s, and someone in that family must have taken this picture. But those houses are on Surf Walk, the hotel behind. These are houses on Holly Walk, down near Lewis. The same spot, and another house has been put in there in between the two houses in the picture before. These were standard Grove design houses, that full roof over the porch. You'll see that repeated in many pictures. These pictures are just sort of probably out from the seashore area looking towards downtown Cherry Grove, past a couple of houses that are probably on East Walk. East Walk then was part of Cedar Grove Park. It was a separation from Cherry Grove. This group of pictures, three actually, taken in the 1920s, are of Michael and Ted Pinto's family, his grandparents. And I just think they're absolutely delightful with the dog and the makeshift boat. It's Michael Pinto's grandfather on the far left. I don't know who these three guys were. soldier sailor Narration here in Cherry Grove back in the 20s. These are from West End. That's looking west. Actually, they're right in front of the hotel in the downtown section of the Grove. With those puttees on, it must have been sometime in the 20s after the First World War, or maybe 30s. I don't know when they wore those things. This next group of pictures are all on Surf Walk, looking towards the bay. And as you can see, the Surf Walk at one time was quite wide, but it was the main walk through Cherry Grove, and it had its full width. The boardwalk today is very narrow, but actually Surf Walk is still that wide in terms of how it shows on the town maps. Looking towards the bay on surf. Later in this tape, there's a question whether this was Surf Walk and what that wonderful house on the right was, and if it was there. But it's in the next picture. I can show you how we know it's Surf Walk. This wonderful little kind of Victorian extravaganza beach house with all that stuff on it is probably just south of where Dominic's house is now, Dominic DeSanto and John, because the house beyond that shows up prominently in all the flood pictures. It ended up in the bay. Most all the other houses were destroyed, and this wonderful gingerbread gazebo-like place, there are very few pictures of. No trace of it after the storm. This is the house that did end up in the bay after the storm, after the hurricane of 1938. And there are a number of pictures I'm going to show of it because architecturally I think it's very interesting on all sides. The house is called Swallow's Rest. It was on Surf Walk, and it faces east. This is looking at it from the southwest corner, and that sort of Dutch gable roof has a curious bend in the back there. I've never ever seen anything quite like it. Same house from the west side, from the northwest side. You'll see this house in hurricane pictures of 38. You'll see the house in the bay. There's a bunch of people sitting in front of Swallow's Rest. Members of the family of that house, and just beyond that house, beyond it towards the bay, is the one with all of the Victorian bric-a-brac and little follies on it. So looking down Surf Walk from way up at the end from the ocean. In case you wondered. Well, water in the picture in the 20s. Again, looking east towards the hotel, past Surf Walk. It was not very much built west of Surf Walk in the 20s or even into the 30s.